the Technology Investment Tax Credit, which is a tax credit for investors in new technology firms. That program is run jointly through the Edison Centers and through our technology division. The program had really, frankly, run out of money. The budget included a $15 million allocation of new authority for them. That's one program. The other program is the State New Markets Tax Credit. That is run actually by William Murdoch's shop. I don't know if William is in the audience today. I think he's going to be out here at some point. William has that program that is really a add-on to any federal new markets tax credit deals that you're doing. It's an attempt to attract more capital from outside the state that would be going into new markets tax credit type deals. That is how I would tell you to think about it. If you've got any more questions about it, I call William's shop because they're really the experts on it, and I'll just get out of my depth pretty quick. And then finally, you have the Sporting Events Tax Credit, which is for a named set of opportunities that communities could apply for. You know, we haven't really figured this one out yet for a couple of reasons. One is it's not scheduled to start until 2012. Number two, it doesn't have a funding source. So we haven't really put a lot of time into figuring out how this is going to work. But it is essentially structured as sort of a weird kind of sales tax hit concept that the state would in theory do grants up to $1 million based on estimations of what sales tax revenue increases would be, but if somehow they weren't met, the community would have to refund the money. It's kind of a strange little program. I do like the fact that you know you have this great set of things you can track, and I'd be very excited to have Final Four in Ohio. You know, kids play soccer, so World Cup would be great. You know, I was going to try and pick somebody out in the audience to talk about the National Senior Games, but I figured that would be way too dangerous and might get stuff thrown at me, so I will refrain from doing that. We're not sure what we're really going to do with this program, if anything's going to happen with it. Again, we've got to have a funding source for the money. The budget was very vague in terms of where the money was to come from. It sort of implied that we were just supposed to find it, but didn't really appropriate it. So if you have a convention or visitors bureau who's all jazzed up about this program, I would suggest that they take a deep, hard look at it before they get themselves too jazzed up about it. And then, I don't think I have a slide on it, but how much time do we have left, by the way? 10 minutes? Okay. In terms of where we stand on local property tax incentives, we are going to start going out and meeting with folks about what we intend, what our thoughts are as outlined in the incentives study in terms of local property tax incentives. As Nate said, this is an important issue that is going to require a lot of study and discussion. This is not something we're going to jump into. That said, we do think there are opportunities to do a couple of things. One is to simplify the current system. I think most folks in the room have probably heard me talk about this topic before. Sorry, we don't need 6 different kinds of tips. We don't need 4 different kinds of property tax exemption. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And also, we do believe that there needs to be a look at the program to see if it can be more targeted for economic development use. Our plan is to bring together representatives of the key stakeholders, all of your general purpose governments, your schools, obviously OEDA will play a big part in this. I've already had a lot of discussions with Nate and JC and Mike about this subject. Going to have a lot of discussions about that and try and move this forward over the next year. We do have an expiration of the Enterprise Zone program that's scheduled for like a year from tomorrow or something. Yeah, a year from tomorrow. That is sort of staring us in the face to keep us focused, but I will assure you this is not something that the state is going to rush into, or at least the administration is going to rush into to try and make a lot of modifications. We recognize how important this is, and we want to be very careful on how we do it. That's what I've got to say at this point, and we'll take some time for questions. Or we put you all entirely to sleep.
Steve, your tax credits, are those transferable where that you syndicate them out,
Which tax credits?
such as your technology or your new markets, will those be transferable?
The technology investment tax credit, I do not believe is transferable. The new markets tax credit, I can't remember whether that one's transferable or not. I don't believe it is. I know the film tax credit is not. Transferability is something that, we've had a lot of discussions with the taxation department about it. Taxation has some real concerns with transferability for a couple of reasons. One is it's very hard to track who actually has the right to the credit if you get too many transferable credits in places. So that's one of the things they're concerned about. The other thing is that, frankly, through the factoring process, you get sort of leakage of the value. When somebody syndicates it, you put out $100 million of credits, the credits get sold for $50 million, you only get